How much do you think that this change in policy or movement in the change in policy is driven by regular citizens, is driven
Mm,
by, what we call here at the doorstep, doorstep concerns. And I ask specifically because I was randomly at a farmer's market this weekend and, wearing my Ukraine pin and, a veteran Vietnam vet came up to me and said, you're going to win in Mariupol because we're going to give you the weapons. And it was such an interesting doorstep support of an issue far away, right? If you look at the big scope of countries and problems the United States has, right? And it was kind of shocking for me in this small town in the middle of nowhere that this conversation happened. And I'm wondering what you see as a change in policy at the top driven, or do you think it's driven by things on the bottom, or do you think it's driven by, other countries pushing the United States? Where do you see that push-pull happening?
I definitely think that there is a direct relationship to the upsurge of support among the American populace for trying to do something to address what they see in their television screens and on social media and the like, in terms of just atrocities being committed. And if anything, they're maybe pushing, some parts of the American populace are pushing towards even greater level of US commitment in terms of whether there'd be any kind of military commitment like a no-fly zone. But in terms of the accountability piece, I think here's a great measure of that reflection of American public sentiment. The US Senate, which has generally been a little bit skittish about the International Criminal Court,
Yep.
unanimously passed a resolution supporting the International Criminal Court's investigation of Russian war crimes in Ukraine, led by Senator Lindsey Graham. And he gave a speech beforehand, a press briefing specifically on this topic, and could not have been a stronger supporter for the court. And I think that's remarkable. And there are at least 36 Republicans on the House side who have also now sponsored legislation. They might all, even greater numbers vote for it, but sponsored legislation explicitly supportive of the International Criminal Court. So I think it reflects this kind of bipartisan, cross-ideological grounds or non-ideological, in the sense of some kind of forceful response to towards the arc of justice, bending in a certain sense to deal with the atrocities that we're seeing that are just on a scale that is of the worst sort, that even in our discussion we have to include whether or not it's genocide. So I think that's really what I think something very significant is happening, and it makes it easier for the Biden administration to change policy because of the domestic political space it has to maneuver here.